stuck here. The cops won't bother me.
Yeah, you know, the Tenere 700 is coming out, and I think that's going to be a very popular seller. I've been keeping track of what people are saying on the internet about it in the United States, because apparently it's already out in Europe. But in America, everybody's got the idea of adventure touring. There was a guy that posted up, will the Tenere, let's just call it T7, and this is a T10. The T7, will I be able to ride on the highway? Will I be able to be comfortable on the highway? And I just remember, man, I was comfortable on my V-Strom 650. I was comfortable on my Ninja 250. What exactly are you thinking that you're going to be so uncomfortable? The T7 is not a gold wing. The V-Strom is not a gold wing. This is not a gold wing. But people expect adventure bikes to do a lot these days. You know, they want to be able to go off-road. They want to be able to ride a little bit on the gravel, and maybe even some like some nastier off-roading. And this bike is not really that. Everybody that's got the T10 thinks that this is an off-road bike, that it's a dual sport, but really it's a sport touring bike wearing dual sport gear. The T7 is a much better off-roader, and for me, I would be much happier with the T7 than the T10. But I know that 90% of my time is going to be on the pavement. 90% of my time is going to be commuting and just riding around my area. I'm not going to be really riding too much. Look at this GS. I'm not really going to ride too much cross country. You know, that's kind of rare. Not everybody's got the time or the money to ride cross country and do whatever they want. So everybody's got the idea of going on an adventure, but most people are not going to be going on any adventure. Most people are just going to be using it as they use any other bike. Most likely touring, commuting, occasional weekend rides. And I think the T7 is great for that. I really think people should be looking at the KTM 790 and the Tenere 700. I believe that Honda will be releasing a Africa Twin, you know, probably a 700 or whatever, 800. Because that seems to be the Goldilocks. By the way, the 700 really is like a 600, right? Like a 650. All of these bikes, it's all about marketing. Nobody wants to call it a 650 because 650s are old. That's like something in the mid-2000s that people called motorcycles. Now everybody's like 700, 800. But let's just call them middleweights because they really are that. I also think that when the T7 goes on sale here, this bike is going to be much harder to sell because, I don't know, I don't think anybody really wants this bike as opposed to the T7. The T7 is just so much better. Only downside really is the lack of shaft drive. I kind of wish that Yamaha had a sport version where they had the chain and then they had like a touring version with a shaft drive on the T7. I would definitely get the touring version if I had money. The T7 is also very affordable. I think it was $10,000, and that's a pretty decent price for something that neat. I definitely think the T7 is more my style, but man, I love having the shaft drive. I really do. And I keep thinking the gas and a little bit less power on this thing kind of makes up for the fact that it's got a shaft drive and I don't have to do anything. Like when I bought the NC 700, I needed a chain and sprockets right off the bat. And it's kind of like an expensive thing, especially if you have to have it done at a dealer. The T7 is really good. I mean, but it is a monster. It's a monster bike, and there was a guy on a GS forum talking to another GS guy, going like, so why do you want a dirt bike? The other GS guy's like, oh, I'm looking for a dirt bike. And the GS guy's like, the other one is, hey, why do you want a dirt bike? Why don't you just learn to ride the GS well? And the thing is, a lot of these guys, when they ask a question like that, they don't really know how to ride dirt. They assume that riding dirt is just riding fire roads, but fire roads is not really off-road. I mean, that's the type of off-roading I like to do, but it's not off-road. When you have a dual sport, it really opens up your possibilities for riding, because you can go explore single track trails. You can do so much more than you can on this. Like when you get this bike on a tight track or trail, you'll see its limits right away, and then you realize, oh wait, this is not a dirt bike at all. Even my XR650R was a great dirt bike, but it was even too big. So one of the bikes I'm looking to get is a CRF 250L, not the rally version, just the regular, but dual sported. Dual sporting really opens up the possibilities. You know, if you have a dirt bike only, then you're kind of forced to trailer. And I really just want to ride on the street, get to trails, maybe trailer to a trail, and then like ride around a bit. On a pure dirt bike, yeah, you just don't have that legalization thing going. So for me, there's not much point to it. I don't think I've had a full-fledged dirt bike. I've ridden them, but I never felt like that was my thing. I really like riding on the street because you see so much, but with the amount of guys riding around driving with cell phones in their hands all the time, I kind of feel like unless we get cars that drive themselves soon, there's going to be a lot of people dying.